Working with a partner that provides fuel spend management is about more than just preventing fuel theft and fraud. Finding the right solution can help your fleet drive efficiency, fuel cost savings, and more. But what fleets need to tap into the latest fuel purchasing technology and why? For those answers and some added explanations, let's talk to someone at WEX.
So the easy answer is, fuel is probably the biggest expense if you're operating vehicles as part of your business, number one. And that doesn't change regardless of your size or the segment you play in. Our customer base is comprised of everything from a single vehicle operation, could be a landscaper, electrician, plumber, trades, all the way up to the federal government, right, who has hundreds of thousands of vehicles that are running around every single day. And because it's such a large expense, it also represents a large risk. And therefore, how we help them control that really becomes an operational efficiency for them, right? Making sure that the drivers or the operators are adhering to the policies, whether it's a small business or, or it's a large entity that is working east to west. Utility companies, public sector. We deal a lot with trades, obviously, in terms of vehicles and technicians running around. What we ultimately deliver is we take some of the pain out of the administration of this large cost for their business so they can focus on running their business. Right? We simplify the business of running a business. Our intent is to make them better at what they do and not necessarily provide a solution that will not drive to those efficiencies. Good question, because it's another point of inflection for us. We've been using machine learning and AI models to detect fraud for 6 or 7 years, right? Transactional fraud is a risk for every single operator today. The infrastructure associated with the petroleum marketplace is 120 to 140,000 locations with multiple dispensers. It's hard to protect. We are one of the leaders in the industry in terms of detecting things like skimming and white plastic fraud, right? The traditional definition of fraud. The next generation where we're headed is the abuse and misuse, right? So it's, there's a particular policy associated with it, and it could be things like fuel grade. It could be things like tank capacity, where people are filling up a secondary tank, or they're filling up their wife's or their brother's car for that matter. The tools that we're providing are to use the information associated with telematics or the vehicle data to make sure that that decision is being made to align with the company's policy, right? So it's not just the fraud, the traditional sense fraud, but also think about it a little wider in terms of fraud and misuse. Primarily it's got to look simple, right? We've talked about our value is really to simplify the business. Our intent is to make that transaction be approved if it's a valid transaction, and get that person back on the road to do what they should be doing, which could be the trades, but whatever it is, right? That should be a painless, simple transaction that adheres to the policy, the spend policies associated with that company. And that's really our value, is just keep it simple, approve the valid transactions, aggregate the spend, and represent cost savings for those businesses that we represent. I would tell you this is another great point of the future state we're in, right? The cardless solutions. The beauty of being a payments company is, number one, we built our roots on plastic, the traditional path. What's in front of us is absolutely mobile capable, right? Embedded payments in the vehicle is not something that's 10 years away, right? We're talking 2 and 3 years away from now, where a payment can be embedded in the vehicle. The content and information associated with vehicle is talking up through the cloud or over the site, authorizing those fuel transactions, right? And that's where we're headed with our business. And ultimately, I think it'd be great to think about this space that moves a little more slowly than consumer, right? Commercial moves at a different pace, and therefore, what WEX is doing is making sure that we're meeting our customers where those needs are, right? Traditional plastic is a place that will always, for a sustainable period of time, be part of the business. Those that are more progressive, as you think about the new generations coming and running in businesses, are used to using their mobile phones, are used to using virtual payments and capabilities. We also have those solutions available. So a real fantastic broad suite of payment capabilities that are really meant to meet the customer where those needs are.